The following is a compLexity production.
1, 2, 3, compLexity!
This is the press conference, streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Oh, you cannot be serious, man!
You've got questions, we've got answers. And now, your hosts, compLexity.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the press conference where you're going to get the answers you wouldn't get anywhere else in esports. My name is Zach, content manager for compLexity Gaming. And over here to my right, as always, my trustworthy friend, superior.
In every way.
Kyle Beef Batista. How's it going, Kyle?
You know, man, I like to talk about the weather a lot when I'm doing intros here.
Yeah.
And, it's like negative 60 in the Midwest a few days ago, and it's 80 here in Texas today. It is actually 80, and it's gorgeous.
It makes me scared for the summer, but I'm going to enjoy it now.
You know what? I mean, it might snow in a couple days. You never know. Texas.
We'll see. Somebody that loves sunny weather across the,
That's the one.
across the way over there, that's not Jason Lake. That is Soren, aka Fantasy. How's it going?
For a brief second, I thought I'm just gonna do a Lake impression, but
I was expecting it.
I don't want to get fired. So
There you go.
I feel like he might not take it well.
Depends on the impression.
Also, I don't know the lyrics of Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog, so half of the material is gone.
I mean, you've got the gist of it right there. Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Yeah, but
and after that, I'm lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth to those lyrics.
There you go.
It's very, very graphic, I think.
We're already off topic.
Yep, already off topic. This is what happens when we have Soren, but the person to get us on topic over here, social media manager Skimp.
Hopefully, anyway. Hey,
How's it going?
I'm super excited to be here again.
Oh,
Tell that to your voice.
2 and 3 weeks.
It's difficult. Not everybody can be as expressive as you, Fantasy. So, I'll try my best. I'll try my best to be a little bit more excited, at least with my voice.
Oh, perfect. So
We got to get into it.
yeah, we're getting into it. So this week we're gonna obviously at the end of the show we're gonna answer your guys' questions that you guys went on Discord and Twitter and asked. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But right now we're going to be able to get into the weekly roundup of everything that happened here at compLexity. So we're gonna start off as always with Counter-Strike Global Offensive. So previously last week we had talked about that they just finished up an E-League and we're moving forward with them going to Frankfurt.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
for a boot camp. Sorry, I was looking at Soren for something snarky, just waiting for it.
I mean, it's Frankfurt.
Frankfurt.
Frankfurt, but
Frankfurt.
who's counting?
So,
Mine.
so Beef, what's the schedule like? So they're going to go boot camp, and then what else do we have?
One.
So we've got the Sydney Qualifiers coming up as well. Pretty stoked about that. How you guys feeling about the Sydney Qualifiers? I've already specified I'm not going to Australia if the team goes. I want to travel with the team. Spiders are a no for me. We're done.
There's lots
Not
of
happening.
spiders there.
Spiders just not happening in Australia. Still hope our team goes as long as they have anti-venom.
You know what scares me most? More so than spiders in Australia? The shoeies.
The what?
What?
The shoeies. At the last IEM Sydney, like so many people in the crowd, they just stood up, poured beer in their shoes. and just,
Yeah. Jeez, those are gross.
that scares me.
That's gross.
Fun fact, I can't even wear spider-looking apparel at the office because it makes Kyle nervous.
It does.
That's true.
Yep.
Pretty bad.
But we're going to have them go up against the likes of Envy, Swole, E-United, Luminosity, and Ghost, and some others. So looking at IEM Sydney, I'm kind of excited about it. I love seeing some of these other teams. We're used to seeing, the bigs, the Astraluses, the Fnatics. So this is kind of a different change of pace. Get them from some different teams. Skim, what are you thinking about?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting qualifier. It's going to be, at the very least, it's going to be important for us to get that practice in against a lot of these teams. Obviously, going into the major, we want as much practice as possible. But also, we want to, going into the major, it'd be nice to establish ourselves. All right, we can beat these teams. So if we do qualify, it'd be really great for us to be able to say, hey, we beat, Swole, United, Luminosity, Ghost. So at least going into the major, we can say, all right, we're feeling pretty confident where we are in NA. But yeah, it's not easy, obviously, because these teams are pretty good. Ghost recently at, don't even remember which land they were.
They beat FaZe at iBet Power, right?
It was a huge upset.
Yeah. So, they're not to be taken lightly. But yeah, I think we're going to be extra motivated. Ricky, sending him home for an event would be dope.
That's always awesome, right?
true.
I mean, we got to represent the Commonwealth over there at the major. Maybe we get to do that down there in Australia as well. God bless the Queen. Save the Queen, whatever it is. I don't know.
God Save the Queen is the song.
At this point, anyway,
Both
I'm
there.
excited to see these teams. Envy looked pretty good at the minor. They just barely missed out on the major via the consolation qualifier, whatever that thing was called. Swole Patrol featuring Som.
Yeah.
Featuring Som. That's going to be pretty hype.
boy.
United, I don't even know what lineup they're rocking right now. I think Pujan just left, right?
He did.
So I don't know who they're going to be playing with. I think I had seen Sub Rosa as a potential there. Luminosity, Ghost, as we said, looking fierce.
Envy is also interesting because Kerrigan was just announced to be signed with Mouse. So is he still going to play with them with this qualifier?
I don't know.
Yeah, and even if he does, like obviously that's going to like change things in the team dynamic, right? Knowing
crazy,
that he's not going to be with them anymore. So
Stuff's crazy. So we're going to have to see. That's coming up in a few days here. Basically, I'm under the assumption that, or the belief that we actually finish that qualifier the day before we leave to Europe.
Yep.
So that's going to be pretty hype. Speaking of Europe, we're going to Frankfurt. We're going to be there for about 7-8 days before we actually have to head over to the major. And last time we saw about a 2-week boot camp over in Germany once again prior to the London major. That did really good things for our team, hoping that it's going to have the same effect going into this major in Poland.
Yeah, really excited. And speaking of Poland, another team that's going to be there is going to be Dota. So we just had Fantasy just come back from
Checks out.
another boot checks out another boot camp with Dota. Soren, you want to tell us a little bit, how was the boot camp? How's the team looking? Give us a little bit of an update. We were just recently playing.
It was boot camp was good. The facility we stayed at, I forget the name.
Battle Arena?
Battle Arena Elite. It was really good. The people there were really friendly. We had a bunch of really good scrims. We scrimmed against some Chinese teams, some teams that were at the Chinese major, and a couple of teams that were preparing for the Southeast Asian major qualifier, minor qualifier. Some of them made it as well. We're gonna take credit for that. But yeah, it was very good. It was obviously like some time to get back into it. The guys haven't played together for a month and a half going in there, and so it took some time. Honestly, surprisingly, the first days of scrims was really good, and then kind of like the honeymoon phase wore off again, and they had to grind back. But they're all in good spirits. Death and Miracle are now here.
Yep.
We beat those visa hurdles.
Yeah.
We haven't defeated the final boss yet.
Yeah, we've kind of detailed the experience that we've been having getting our 3 Southeast Asian players over here to be able to practice. As Soren was just saying, both Death and Miracle are now in the country with their work visas. Adam, we've been trying to get his, and we've countered delay upon delay. We actually just got another delay that we were notified of today, so we're working through that. So as it stands, we are currently using Monkeys Forever as our substitute for the major. And as we finish out the major qualifier and the minor qualifier, if needed in the next few days here, we'll have to figure out things from there. The good news is that for Katowice, we will have no problem using Adam because he doesn't have to come into the U.S. to work. He's going to a foreign country where he's already got a visa. That's all sorted out, so we shouldn't have any problem. It's just going to be about how much practice are we going to actually have with Adam leading up into that event. So we're working through that right now, but expectations are still high. I mean, how's the performance been for you in the major so far?
I mean, I think we did well under the circumstances. I think we pushed forward yesterday to a very good fight on game 1. Took J-Storm.
Crazy game.
Took J-Storm to 3 maps. Team was a little bit down after that. Went over the replays today, figured out some new stuff, and we're maybe having the chance to play J-Storm again tomorrow, actually.
Got to take Flying Penguins though first, right?
No, we're playing the loser of Flying Penguins versus J-Storm. So whoever wins that game is just done and through to the major. Whoever loses plays us. So yeah, as we tape this, we started from the bottom.
Now we're here.
That's the joke. Nice. Well done.
Someone is paying
Mr.
attention.
Joke Explainer over here.
Guys, this is a meme.
Speaking of a meme, when are we announcing the Dota Auto Chess team?
I think we're actually ready to do that right now.
Okay.
We're actually announcing that we have 23 players of our organization that are moving to Dota Auto Chess professionally. Included among those are going to be the entire Dota team, including 7 former members of the compLexity Dota team, returning, as well as our entire card team, with the exception of Noxious.
Well, there it is. Breaking news.
I don't know.
No,
Everybody
okay.
loves auto chess,
Yes.
man.
I'm not gonna
I don't know what the level of competition is. We've seen BSJ. He's had this like little tournament. We've seen Twitch Rivals. What's your take on Twitch Rivals?
It's been pretty fun so far.
Yeah,
I
I would-
tuned in a little bit. We had Waga play against Super JJ at some point.
Twice.
Oh, yeah, actually twice. I don't know. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, we've kind of seen the lead up to this for a while now, where a lot of like the Hearthstone pros or like the former Hearthstone pros and like Hearthstone streamers, whatever, they all sort of like get together once in a while and just play like in a lobby together.
I mean, it's essentially a card game.
Yeah.
It's not sugarcoated.
No, for
It's
sure.
Not anything Dota related. It's essentially a card game.
Yeah, it
Live
is.
action card game.
And people love card games. They love to complain about RNG, which Dota Chess gives you plenty of opportunities. So yeah, it's essentially a card game.
There's already a Chinese mobile version apparently.
Yeah, Tencent apparently.
It's already done.
I mean, there's a cheap knockoff, and I think Tencent is
It's
producing
working on a
like
real
an
one.
actual one.
Yeah.
Good lord. It's really going to be about whoever can finish like a decent product first is actually going to make a lot of money.
Pretty much.
It's crazy.
Over this past week as well, we had the Madden Club Championship with Dreeny.
Also correct.
Yes.
Football.
You're on point.
We also
yeah.
had a big game of football that we won't talk about.
We also have the
Oh.
Super Bowl on, and
on.
Beef is
Yeah.
crying again.
Yes. I think everyone's
Pretty
just.
sure that's an HR complaint right there.
I think everyone's just really upset that "Sweet Victory" wasn't sung at the halftime show.
Yeah, let's.
I was upset about the halftime show.
Oh,
I mean,
that's all I watch.
why are you just going to play 5 seconds?
Yeah. No.
We're not.
But the other stack of football that we had going on is we had Dreeny over at the Madden Club Championship where he represented the Cowboys, and it was a lot of. I just got done actually watching some of the footage back from it. I was really excited about it. Soren, did you watch the Madden Club Championship?
I watched everything of the Madden Club Championships. I love Madden. Been very vocal on the press conference about this. I love football, and this is like fast-paced football without really commercial breaks. So what's not to love? Results were a little bit. I don't want to say underwhelming because you ran into a beast in the second round. There's nothing you can do about that. We knew it ahead of time. The club championship plays out the same way every single time. So Cowboys are playing the Giants in the first round, and then you play either the Redskins or the Eagles. And the Redskins champion won last year. He came back, and he played Dreeny in the round of 16, and it was a close one.
Yeah.
Dreeny's defense maybe wasn't on point. Goss said that in the interview as well. Afterwards, he had one stop, and after that, it was just like all basically
Scoring
offense.
at will,
Yeah.
essentially.
Then he had this great play, user pick in the flats, which he did twice in the tournament. So yeah, he played very well. I don't think it's a shame to lose against the reigning champ. Dreeny obviously was disappointed. He's a super competitive guy. But yeah, he will come back. He now lost to Skimbo in the Classic, who later on went to win the tournament, and now Goss finished top 4, lost to Strafen in the semifinals. So yeah, I don't think there's anything outside of his own motivation that we can blame him for.
Do you think that for Dreeny, his club performance is a little bit weaker than his ultimate performance? Or in the non-club format?
What?
Are
Elaborate.
the formats different?
Elaborate.
Between the two?
Yeah. They're a little bit different.
I mean,
Using
they're
different requirements on the
they're
team.
all different.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was salary cap,
Yeah.
and I don't think so.
Okay.
I think he played a fairly balanced team. I heard from a couple of other pros that were strong on offense, so they stacked their defense to kind of make up for it, and kind of budgeted their offense because they thought I'm insane on offense anyways.
Gotcha.
Some did the reverse, and a couple of them just played a pretty balanced team, and I think Dreeny was more on the balanced side. And I think against Evil O he looked good on both sides of the ball. Got a pick 6, got a couple of
He-
very long drives. I think his offense looked good against Goss too, for the most part. His special teams got him a touchdown. His defense was just letting him up, and then two picks where he just oversees one's a lurking linebacker, and the other one it's just a beautiful play to cover the flats like that. Like, what are you gonna do?
He is more excited. Watched a little bit of that post-game interview, and he did mention that coming up the ultimate round, that he feels a lot more comfortable in that set. And hopefully the video that we're going to be putting out, he really breaks down where he thinks he stumbled. And it's amazing to see his interview because he's just such a competitor, and it really didn't get him down, and he's excited for the next stuff coming up. So.
And where do we go from here with Madden? That ultimate round, I guess, is coming up pretty soon here.
The Madden Challenge, I think, is next, where Drini is actually the defending champ. So he's in the position where Goss is. I think it's just Ultimate Team, no cap restrictions. I'm not 100% sure on that. And after that, we are approaching last call qualifiers for the Madden Bowl.
And he got second at the Madden Bowl last year to young
Yes,
Kiv.
he lost to Kiv in the finals on the last play.
So could be looking for redemption there. And of course, young Kiv, I mean, one of the big competitors as well. He had gone out really early.
I mean, it's the same round as Drini went out. He just went out to a lesser known competitor. Got upset. He lost to the
Madden's crazy, man.
Lost to the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah,
It's such a fun esport to watch, though. Like, it really reminds me of like fighting games a lot, like the fighting game
very
community.
similar.
Like, you have that sort of like very intimate setup, right, where they're sitting right next to each other on like a very small stage.
Yeah.
They can talk, like trash talk one another as well, obviously. But
And
like,
they do.
And they do. And I think that's a really cool concept. Like, that's something that's very unique to esports because, you know, you don't really have that in traditional sports as much. I mean, obviously they do trash talk each other, but it's like off camera most of the time. You don't really capture it. But this is like very much part of the entertainment. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's really cool to see them just, I don't know, be on like a small, I don't know, it was just really cool. Small crowd, small stage, but everybody was so hyped. At the players' lounge. I don't know. It was
in our office, man.
Was that your first Madden tournament that you saw?
pretty much, yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like the setting. I think it was great that they went back to like a studio setup.
I'm still frustrated at the level of presentation in terms of we didn't see Drini in the first round and a little bit in the second round, right?
I mean, we saw his highlights because
Oh, we did see him in the
I mean, and the second round was on display. The first round, it was just like they played the divisions at the same time, and they chose to go with the narrative of having the defending champion struggled against the Eagles.
It's just frustrating. When there's so few events in a given year, you'd think that they'd try to air all the matches as much as possible, even if it's on a B stream. That's just a little gripe of mine.
Especially because it's single limb. Right?
Exactly.
That's also something very unique to Madden. That's just very straightforward single limb, nothing like.
Yeah, that's another thing about this event where, you know, like you can see the performance that Drini had even leading up to this. It's all single limb. So you basically become the club champion by going 13-0 or something crazy.
Wow.
And it's against good players. Like Drini didn't represent the Cowboys last time, so he beat out someone that represented the Cowboys last time. Some good, really good players didn't get to represent their club. Skimbo, for example, lost in the, I think, Patriots finals. So it's insane to even get there, and then you have to win 4 or 5 more games to win the club championship. So it's all single limb. You can't. So Pavon basically went 18-0, and the last 5-0 were against the best players in the game.
That final one after 18. So difficult. 19-0, the dream.
Well, we're going to be staying tuned and watching for Drini's next performance, and I think we're all really excited to be able to see it. Up next, we have our favorite part of the show where we go through and answer all the questions that you guys have taken to Twitter, Discord, and submit to us every single week using the hashtag CoLPC. So make sure that you guys do that either in the comment section of this video or on Discord and Twitter. So the first question that we have from Discord is from Oxy. How much of a match is decided on the spot? For instance, playing Dota, there's some items I decide before the game, and some I decide after hero composition, but others. Halberd, Silver Edge, I can get if the gold and my team needs it.
I mean, I think that especially in a game like Dota, I think there's very little that's decided pre-game. I think flexibility is kind of a hallmark of some of the best teams, knowing that yesterday we were playing Fear, and Fear was able to grab a minus. Another game, he didn't grab a minus. Knowing that he can grab the minus, that they're not going to be heavily pressured, he can build that up. Next thing you know, 15 minutes later, he's got a multicasting sheep. Like, that flexibility enabled him to essentially win the game as a 4 position. Whereas, let's go back to Epicenter in 2016 with our Dota team, where we played that legendary like Axe Wyvern combo, this like total cheese thing. That got practiced probably 25 times prior to going into that match, with our players sitting there and enacting the exact thing that they were going to do. And there was literally 0 deviation. You're literally counting, am I getting my Vanguard by 7 minutes and 4 seconds, or am I at 7:15? Because knowing at that point you might not be able to get off the extra stack that you need to be able to hit your blink timing at 12 minutes or whatever that might be. So there are some things that are very, very practiced, but that level of flexibility is quite important, especially in a game like Dota.
It's funny because sometimes in a lot of teams, actually, you'll notice that players or teams don't even like talk about item decisions as a unit that much. Like sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, I didn't even realize you had like a blink dagger." Like at that point, or like, "Oh, why didn't you go diffusal blade?" Like they'll talk after the game about those items, but during the game, oftentimes it's just based on whatever each player feels is right at the moment. Obviously, depending on the state of the game, there's going to be like a hardcore decision from the captain. You need a silver edge to counter that hero, whatever. But a lot of times, yeah, it is very flexible. It's every player has their own input on the game, and every player is usually hardcore creative. Like we have had a lot of very creative players in one team. So this is, I think, pretty much every match is going to be very, very different. That's what kind of makes Dota so cool to watch.
Yeah, I think you go into a game, especially Dota, or especially our team, you go into it with an idea of what you want to draft. You know roughly what the other team is going to draft. You have like preferences of who runs 2 hardcore carries, who tries to get in on the push early, who plays back and very slow. So you kind of make your plans around your hero pool for that. But once like you are in the draft and they throw a curveball at you and stuff hits the fan. You have to adapt, and I think that's where, as Beef said, like the hallmark of a good team is to be adaptive to those situations, to kind of see they didn't do this last time, so why are they doing this now? So yesterday, for example, the best thing I can think of was against Exotl. Game 2 and 3, the first, I want to say 20 picks and bans were literally the same thing. And we had the same lineup, and then they picked, I think it was the anti-mage or so, before they picked the Dazzle, which they didn't do the other game. So they assumed that the Nyx was a counter to their Dazzle. And we were like, do we care about the anti-mage there, or were we just doing the Nyx again? And we did the Nyx again, and then they did other stuff. But like that kind of thinking about why are they doing this different now? Like what is their intention? That's kind of where you have to adapt and kind of think about the game, and you cannot really prepare for that.
I think one of the best examples I can think of, I remember a conversation with Kyle 1.5 years or 2 years ago, and I don't remember the details exactly, but I'm going to say what I think I remember. I remember him talking always about how Ramses is this incredible carry, and he's going over Ramses' replays, and he's looking and he's saying, 15 out of 17 times or whatever, Ramses goes on a Sven. He's going to be going this item, and he's going to pick up a blink. He's going to pick up a blink at this timing so that he can go work with them. And he's like, these 2 times he recognized a certain set of conditions that said, I'm not going my standard build. He picked up an SNY because he felt that he could farm up to a certain level and then pick up the blink right afterward. It only takes him 3 minutes more to get the blink after the SNY, and then he's able to go do this, but he's accelerated his farm. He's like, that recognizing the certain set of conditions that enable you to maximize the value out of the hero is what he considered to make Ramses one of the best, if not the best, carry player in the world.
Kyle was very good at understanding those things.
Yes.
He's doing it
He's a smart guy.
He's doing it as an analyst now.
Tony Romo of Dota.
He did it as a cat.
Obviously, we've been talking about Dota right now, but obviously this applies to a lot of other games, CS as well. Obviously, you go into a round, go to a match with a certain set of strats, But that's why people talk about mid-round strats and mid-round calls.
Yes.
It's really important to adapt your strats based on what the opponent's doing, and you can only prepare so much, really, and that's what Kyle said. You can measure a team's worth and strength by how well they adapt to whatever their opponent throw at them.
Also, Oxy wants to see Panini cards of Jason and Warden.
That'd be dope.
They have to be like special edition holographic cards that only come in like large booster packs or something.
So part of the Panini cards right now that I think we've all opened up some of them, they actually have little pieces of the jersey.
Oh, yeah.
That they put into the card, which is awesome. With Jason, I'd
we
like to
cutting
put
off
his
his tie?
Oh, that'd be perfect.
put part of his tie into a card. I think that'd be cool.
That'd be sick. They up next we have Elevate Scode from Discord. Would compLexity ever think about doing an HQ series once built? For example, multiple videos describing the inner workings of compLexity and what the content creators do and who the designers are and management and so on. I know what you're trying to do, Elevate. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to see what can I do to butter up Zach, and this is a perfect way to do it. Yes, we are doing a series, and we will have more on that as the HQ is getting built. But of course, we're going to cover. It's a huge investment for us. It's one of the coolest, best things going on right now, and we really think it's going to be a kind of like a beacon in the esports community. And if I have anything to say about it, we're going to do tons of content on it. So,
Yay, content.
yay!
But those,
you're
those are
good.
really two different things, right? We're going to do like one on the HQ being built, but then also I guess
I don't
he's
think
also-
we know exactly what it is. We have certainly some outlines of stuff that we're working on right now, but we're going to have to see where it goes.
I just know I'll have a camera on, and I'm going to cover it. How it comes out, we don't know yet.
There will be stuff.
There will be stuff. Lots of things. Up next, we have Elizabeth from Discord. How often do you guys give away giveaways with Cold Gear? Skim, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, there's not really any sort of schedule or anything. It's mostly, when we want to give back to the community or when we want to celebrate something together with our fans. We've had
Panini recently.
Panini recently, obviously. We've also, for the holidays, we threw a big giveaway just because, we felt like we wanted to give back to the community. We've had the Fan Elite or Fan of the Week activation that we did last year, towards the end of the last year. And that was just really just about giving back to the fans and for us, especially for those supporting us like hardcore on like pretty much any platform. So whenever we do giveaways, it's usually just about, making sure we're giving back to the fans and celebrating with them, something with them. So I don't know. Again, there's no real schedule or anything.
Yeah.
But,
We don't really like doing them for no reason. Yeah. We generally like to have them be around an event that's going on or a partnership or something along those lines. But like you said, giving back to the community is really important.
Other question from Elizabeth. Do you guys ever think you'll have players on the press conference?
I'm not sure. I think that's something that's been batted around a little bit.
Yeah.
They certainly have extremely busy schedules, so sometimes it's hard to make time for them to not only do their own individual stuff, but team stuff, streaming, the content that you guys need out of them, working with our partners and press conference. I think if schedules ever align and we have topics that we want to talk with them and we feel comfortable with it, sure, why not?
Also, too, it's kind of here you've seen as we've talked about certain teams and their current statuses, we're pretty upfront and honest about a lot of it. So we're here to more give like the recap, the overview, the status, where the other video content we try to get into, talking with players about specific instances and games and stuff like that. So up next we have from Fenixsniper on Discord. What advice would fantasy give to aspiring managers? Sometimes it seems it's hard to break into the industry unless you're a team manager. Your team manager gets picked up.
It's a good question. For me, I don't really you work hard. You try to network as best as possible. You try to find maybe an entry level job in esports. And even if you manage a team that might play like minors or whatever, if you were or might play minor open qualifiers or whatever, if you're hardworking, you connect with the right people, they're going to see that you're like always on, you're always on time, you're always doing your stuff, and then you can like slowly climb up the ladder. Sometimes you just stumble into opportunities, and then finally you are forced to be on a press conference. Mm-hmm. But that's just the luck that some of us have. But it really just started with I started in a fairly low budget, low priority esports news website. Same with Skim, by the way. It was the same website.
Wait, you were a Fraxter as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the same. We have literally the same roots.
I posted a picture of us like from a screenshot from like 2012 or something where we were both on the
Holy
staff
moly.
page. Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. And then you just, I climbed up the ladder through that. I went from a German-speaking website to an English-speaking website, and then got approached by the game designer or game developer that I covered to do their in-house coverage. And then I met this handsome young fella there. And here I am now.
Yeah, there's actually a POV called the Calvaries here, where someone talks about a
That's
little more
true. That's
depth.
POV number 4.
I really like that.
No,
one.
that is not
No,
number
it's
4.
not.
It should be.
It's just where Skim goes, or Fancy goes into it a little bit more, and then obviously there's other aspects like Daniel's in there, I'm in there, Kevin's in there, and then breaking in. We have how to get a job in esports with the Jordan Deaton story. We have that.
Is that
video
number
as well.
4?
That is not.
No, that's like number 11 or something.
Yeah.
What is number 4?
I believe that's actually Kyle missing his flight back from the summit.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the
Or maybe it's West Coast, Best Coast. I don't... Dude, I'm...
so
Done
alive.
so many.
It's a little all over the place.
So, and my take on this is I would say that probably 70 to 80% of esports managers did not start their esports career as a team manager. I think that you more oftentimes see people working in logistics, or you see them working on the content side of things, or on social, or even working at partners, different journalists, whatever you want to do, and then they transition into it over time. Myself, I was working in broadcasting. These guys, journalism, all these different things. So just getting your foot in the door in esports and gradually making your way over there is something that's possible. Additionally, like you said, managing these teams, the people that do make it in as managers, team managers from the get-go, almost always working volunteer, working with these low-level teams. You do it for a while. People get to know you. They recognize you from scrims. They recognize you from setting things up or managing them on site if they make it to an event.
Well, thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys, again, check us out. Go onto our Discord, go onto our Twitter, use the hashtag CoLPC, and go ahead and load up and start asking your questions again for next week. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys later.